Hey folks, it's Nick Granville. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I thought let's talk about some of the gear that's kind of been the best stuff I've ever bought, right? Not the most expensive, right? Like a lot of times people will think, oh, if I buy the most expensive thing, I've got the best thing. To me, it's like, what gear do I actually use, right? Like I play professionally. This is what I do. I play this thing for a living. So to me, it's like, what gear does the job, right? Let's start with guitars, right? These are, I've got all these instruments over here. I mean, there's a vintage Gibson. You might think, well, that's probably the most expensive guitar I've got, and it'd be the most, and the gear I'd probably recommend, but not so, right? Like, that's a very specialist instrument, and I use it in a specialist kind of way. The guitar I use the most is this at the moment, my made in Japan Stratocaster. I know. 1994, I love this thing. I've refretted it. It's got a new nut in it. It's got new wiring. It's got new pickups, a new pickup at least there. I've done all kinds of stuff to it, but it just works, right? And this is the guitar I use more than anything nowadays, right? It just gets the job done. Second guitar, I would say, this one. This guitar is just a battle horse, workhorse, whatever you want to call it. It just works. So, it's not the most expensive guitar I have here by a long shot. The Porridge Smith cost me a lot more money. But this, again, just if I had those two guitars, the Strat and this, I think I could do most gigs, right? So yeah. Anyway, pedals. Like what pedal, I was thinking about this. What are the pedals that I would most have used over my career, And there's two that kept coming up, right? Did you guess that one? Right, the Flint. This thing is awesome. My one is kind of beat up. I don't know if you can see that, but it's missing one of the little bits on there. It's got Velcro all over the bottom because it lives on pedal boards. This is amazing. It's just a workhorse. My favorite thing about it is the tremolo. It has this 61 harmonic tremolo, like the brown panel Fender amps. Boy, that sounds good. It's got that real lush kind of almost Leslie type thing. I use that a heap and just for a bit of verb, and a really highly recommended pedal. It's fantastic. So that's the Flint. And I was thinking about overdrive pedals. What's the one that I keep coming back to? It's currently not on my pedal board, and there's a good reason for that. The Dude. It just works. It's a fantastic overdrive pedal. It's not high gain. I'd call it kind of mid-range, in terms of gain. But it just seems to work with so many different guitars and in so many different situations. So The Dude by J Rocket. None of these products are sponsored. I bought them all with my own money. I just thought you might be interested to see like what, as someone who does this for a living and has done it for over 30 years at a high level, right? I've done a lot of high level gigs. What equipment I seem to just always fall back to. So if I run into an amp, this is probably going to be there as part of the sound, right? It's not on my board at the moment, and the reason for that is I've kind of fallen into a crux with it where this has become like the go-to that I'm always on. And I'm like, man, I got to change things up a little bit. So I've just put a different option there to try and get a different result. But hey, I'll probably end up going back to this because it just always works. You'd be surprised. This is actually one of the things I use the most. This thing rocks. It's awesome. It's a little Ibanez clip-on tuner. Now, I have a heap of these clip-on tuners. This one here is the worst one. Don't get this one. It's a Korg, I think. It was recommended to me by one of the music shops. They said this is what they used to tune all their guitars. It's bloody awful. It's horrible. Don't buy that. It's a piece of junk. This Ibanez one, and it's not sponsored, just I bought it. What I like about it is you clip it on your headstock and it turns on. That's it. No button to remember, right? I don't like leaving these on your guitar. I think they look ugly if you leave them on your guitar. So because it's on, I know I have to take it off to turn it off, right? So I'm not going to end up leaving it on my headstock. I think they just look ugly with this thing kind of dangling out there. What do you think? Drop a comment below. Let me know. Do you think they look ugly if they're left on guitars? Kind of do, eh? But that kind of means I'm always going to take it off, right? Super handy. I bought about 3 of these. I leave one in a gig bag. I leave one at the house, and then one in another guitar case. And I know I've always kind of got one kind of floating around. So highly recommended. I'll save the best for last, the thing I use the most. But this is something that I'd highly recommend too. This is the DJI Osmo Action. I have 2 of these. I have a version 5, which you're looking at here, and a version 3. You might be thinking, as a guitar player, why is a camera so important? Well, these are webcams, so I use them when I'm teaching. So if people take online lessons with me, you'll get this camera view, and then I can switch to this camera kind of sitting down here and get a close-up view for the hands. Super handy. But I take it to gigs all the time. And I just chuck it up in the corner, and I've learned so much about my playing from just watching that. Because, you know, once you see and hear yourself back, it's the best way to learn, right? GoPros suck. Don't buy GoPros. These are way, way better in my experience. I've got about 3 or 4 GoPros up there, and I've got 2 of these. The advantage of these is they're actually stereo sound. GoPros are mono. GoPros are designed to be strapped onto somebody's head and kind of turned into an action cam. These are way better suited to music, right? Which is what I'm using it for. These are better in low light, which is a lot of gigs. You know, you're indoors, it's low light. So yeah, highly recommend it. I pretty much film most gigs nowadays. I very rarely post them, like probably one in every 30 or 40 I might post a little bit from, but handy. And I mean, this camera right here right now is my other one, my Action 3, that just kind of, they just work. So get one of those. And my most used gear, my #1 equipment that I'm using right now, you probably guessed it. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. This. Is it the best sounding unit in the world? Does it sound like as good as a real good tube amp? No, it doesn't, right? If I had my way, I would have a tube amp in a perfect room with 2 microphones on it. I'd be able to get it to the volume I want. That's a big one. And everything would be ideal, and it would be perfectly blended with the band. That's not the real world, all right? Now, I can do that on some of my gigs, sure, but many, many gigs, I cannot, right? So that's where this comes in. My gig at the moment, I'm playing Christmas carols with a pop band, pop rock band, and this is what I'm using. And the main reason is there's no sound check. We turn up, we're on the back of the stage, same stage every time. I use this, and it goes direct to front of house, then he doesn't have to worry about the mix changing. It's exactly the same every time. So that goes out via XLR and mono, and then I'd come out of the Humbuster output and go into the effects return on a Fender Hot Rod amp, which is provided for me, and that way I'm only using the tube power stage and the speakers as my monitoring, and it sounds great. I'm really happy with the sound, and it means I can get all my sounds. I can take just this and the guitar, and I'm boom, I'm away. Our gig today is going to be a nightmare to get to. It's a big outdoor stage. They're taking that little amp for me. I'll take this and my guitar, and boom, done. Now, I just use amps all the time, and these 2 amps here have been 2 of the best purchases I've ever made, which is my 2 Victorias. But I would say this has probably been probably the best thing I've ever bought, because, and I did buy it. I have an FM9 as well. The FM9 I find less useful, and the reason is that it's quite big. It's about that size, right? It's like 2 of these put together, and it's bigger and heavier and bulkier. To me, the whole point of bringing a modeler is to be portable, right? And so I find that if I'm going to take big and bulky and heavier, I'll just take an amp at that point, right? To me, it's like small and compact and portable is what it's all about. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on an AM4. I think that's going to be could be pretty cool, right? You know, it's even more portable, even more slimline. I mean, that to me looks like it'd fit in a gig bag pocket quite easy, right? So bonus, here's a couple of bonus tips of gear that I've gotten a lot of use out of, and stuff you might not think of. Mono gig bag. I bought this one at Mesa Boogie in Los Angeles when I was there on tour. We were playing the Monterey Jazz Festival in up near San Francisco way. Yeah, Monterey. And I bought this at the Mesa Boogie shop in Hollywood. You couldn't get these in New Zealand, so how long have I had it? Blooming forever. I mean, it's it's kind of ripped itself to bits. These things are awesome. I love the mono gig bags. This has just done me such good service. And the other bonus one I'd say is these 2 Victoria amps. I have a Deluxe, a 5E3 type amp, which is what you heard in that intro. Love that little amp. It's probably the most used amp I use. It just has a great tone. It's nice and simple and portable. It's the right volume to play with a drummer as long as it's not getting too loud. Like a big outdoor stage, it's no good for, but you know, in a little club or a rehearsal or smaller gig where the drums are largely unmiked, perfect. Blues gig. And then my bassman, which is back there, my bassman for a bigger gig, right? Hey, drop me a comment below. Let me know, what gear have you found the most useful? It's quite an interesting thing to kind of think about, right? Like, because often we aspire for something better and this and that and whatever, but most of the time it's kind of just BS, isn't it? Like, the gear that just works is the best gear, right? Do you have to have a vintage Strat to sound good? Maybe. I mean, some of them are cool. Some of them are crap too. I played a load of crappy vintage Strats, but you know what I mean? Like, gear to me, all this stuff, whatever it is, it's just tools, right? Don't you think? It's just a tool to get the job done. And that's really all I care about it. You know what I mean? Hey, drop me a comment below. Let me know if you like the video. There's new stuff coming soon. AM4 should be on its way. I've got a couple of pedal boards coming to show you guys. Some new pedals coming. It's been a great year. I've really enjoyed this year. YouTube for me is not about trying to be famous like some people are trying to be a funny guy or whatever. I'm just doing what I do. I'm a professional player and I'm just sharing kind of what I do, and hopefully people are getting stuff from it, right? It's an educational channel. It's about gear, how to play, all that kind of stuff. So if you like it, like and subscribe. Catch you soon. Cheers.